Welcome back to AM Northwest. Okay, when it's cold and rainy outside like it is now, stay inside and curl up with a good book or a podcast. Here to share her current favorites, we welcome back publisher and New York Times bestselling author Anna David. Great to see you, Anna.
Great to see you.
Okay, let's talk books. And this first book that you recommend to folks is called Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy. I loved her memoir so much.
Well, I remember we talked about it and we bonded over how much we both loved it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad my mom died. It was a sensation
Oh,
in
it's amazing.
2022.
Yeah.
This is her hotly anticipated follow-up, and it's a novel. And I would say it does not disappoint at all. It is about a high school girl who's this sort of wayward teen who thinks that if she buys enough makeup and cheap clothes, she'll fulfill herself and or get her high school teacher to fall in love with her.
Oh.
Spoiler alert, that works. But rather than going into this thing about just how disturbing it is that a high school teacher would do that, it really focuses on her story.
Yeah.
And I love the way it takes this really dark material, really, and makes it so readable. I mean, I bought it in an airport and had finished it by the time the plane landed. That's how readable this book
That's
is.
a good book. That's a really good book. And I love that she went from memoir to fiction and did so seamlessly. That's fabulous.
And rare that a writer can do both.
Yeah. Okay, the next one you have is The Psychology of Money.
Yes. Okay. So this actually came out in 2020, and it's, you know, those things where you hear about something and then everywhere you go, you hear about it and you're like, wait, was everyone always talking about this? I heard about it because another publisher talked about how the structure was perfect, how every nonfiction book should follow this structure. So I was reading it for that. And then it's fascinating. It really paints the picture of, you know, we don't make financial decisions because of spreadsheets. We make financial decisions because of emotions. So what's behind that? And it opens with this anecdote about a guy named Ronald Reed, who was a janitor and philanthropist. And making the point that it's not about how much we make, but about how much we save and invest.
Right.
And it really educated me about my own sort of irrational financial choices. And so I think it's relevant to anybody who makes financial decisions, which is all of us.
Yeah. The janitor you talk about, I think I know the story because he donated all this money to a university, I think, right? Like he lived on practically nothing and gave away, I don't know, millions, to the university.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Okay, the next book is I'll Try Anything Twice, Misadventures of a Semi-Medicated Life.
Okay, I am so obsessed with this book that I told you guys you have got to have the author on when she is in Portland, and you are.
Oh, great.
I have read a lot of memoirs about addiction and recovery and mental illness. I have never read one that I related to so much or that I felt like articulated the feelings so well. So Carly Schwartz is the author, and this takes her from New York to the Panamanian jungle, to San Francisco, living in a sort of commune, to Burning Man. And it really takes the story of somebody who bottoms out while working at one of the biggest companies in the world. And so she looks like she's got it together, but internally it's just a mess. And it's funny, and it's really brilliant.
Wow. Okay. I cannot, and I found out just, Tammy just told me, producer Tammy just told me March the 23rd is when we're going to have Carly on the show. So there you go.
Oh, you will not be
Now I got to get busy. I got to read that book.
Yep.
Okay. Next, you recommend a podcast.
Yes. Okay. In case you haven't heard, Top Model is having a real resurgence. Now, did you watch Top Model back in the day?
Next Top Model? I did not.
Oh my God.
I've seen a lot of videos out about it and, you know, commotion about it. And
yes, there's been 2 documentaries at the same time.
Yeah.
One on E, one on Netflix. I devoured the Netflix one. And, you know, and now this podcast, which makes the documentaries look like nothing. I mean, it goes into just these girls, the way they were talked to about weight, what they had to go through. They had to pose with spiders on their
Oh,
faces, dangling down buildings in the freezing cold. There was a girl who had food poisoning and was in the hospital and had to pull the IV out of her arm and rush because she heard she was going to get kicked off if she didn't.
oh my
And
gosh.
it really, the most interesting part to me is how much society has changed over the past decade.
Yeah.
Like the way we talked about weight, what we thought was appropriate for reality
Yeah.
shows. I mean, it talks about how they would do these psych evaluations when the girls were auditioning, and then they would use what they learned against them in the shows, and just things that they don't do today.
Yeah,
At
we
least I
wouldn't do
don't
that
think
now.
they do.
Yeah, we wouldn't
Yeah.
do that now. We know better. We're going to tell everyone to put the list on our website at k2.com. Anna David, always great to talk with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You
Talk to you
bet.
soon.